Hey everybody, it's Felicia Stutzel with Vintage Wine Marketing, and welcome to today's Wine Wednesday. Today I'm going to be talking about the 5 ways that you can up your organic game. Now, what do I mean by that? The organic game of which I'm referring to, and the 5 best plays in the playbook, is talking about how to optimize your social media. As some of you might know, in the beginning of 2018, Mark Zuckerberg, the founder and CEO of Facebook, had put out a press release talking about how he was going to change the dynamic of Facebook. And the way that he was going to do that is because he was going to create more meaningful connections with people. And the way that he was going to do that was he was going to create a pay-to-play program, which means that any businesses that wanted to be advertising, it became a pay-to-play. So that way, people who are following your Facebook, you might have 10,000 followers. But have you ever noticed that when you do a post, only 4, 5, maybe as high as 10% of your people actually see your post? The reason why that is because the Facebook algorithm actually changed things so that way you are no longer going to be able to reach all of the people that you have on your Facebook page, even though they're already following you, unless you ask them to highlight you to see you first, which you could do through an organic post, or you pay to play. Facebook ads, through boosting posts, through doing campaigns, things of that nature. When you start investing money into it, Facebook starts seeing that you are actually committed into your marketing, and then they kind of change up the algorithm for you so that way it's actually beneficial. So now that you know that, how do we change this? Like I said, there are 5 top ways. There's a lot more, but these are the top 5 ways that you can actually up your organic game. So that way you are no longer having to pay to play and you're actually being able to regenerate organic activity. So, number 1, you need to post unique content on all of your platforms. A lot of people, there's a big debate on what platforms you should use and how you should use them. And honestly, the best advice is you need to find what works for you and then optimize that. But whatever your platforms that you're using, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever your platform is, you need to be posting unique content. Now, the way that I get away with this, and I'm not the best at doing this, I share a lot of posts back and forth between Instagram and Facebook. But the way that I do it is that I actually stagger my posts. So I'll post on Facebook one day, and then I could share that over to Instagram 2 or 3 days later. Then I could be posting on Instagram, and then 2 or 3 days later, I'll share it over to Facebook. This way, you're actually staggering the content so that way it actually messes up the algorithm, and you're actually being able to, Facebook sees your content as being unique, Instagram sees your content as being unique, and they'll actually up your organic reach because of that. Your second biggest tip is cross-promote. And what I mean by that is feature somebody else's content. I had a friend of mine who he's really good in the social media world, but he does a travel blog. What he does is, and the way that he said it was, don't be selfish. Nobody wants to hear about you all the time. And that's true. Nobody wants to hear about you all the time. What they want is they want to have continual interesting information. And if you're not the one who's always doing it, share somebody who is. Another great thing about this is that because you are cross-promoting one another, you're actually being able to take part of their audience and start introducing them to your brand. So this can actually up your organic activity just because you're now being visible to somebody that you might not have been before. The third thing, we keep talking about this, it's a famous word then in this video, but it's the algorithm. Facebook and Instagram, all social media platforms, they all have an algorithm. And once you understand what that algorithm is and what it does for you and how it's applicable to your page or pages, you can utilize it. Best way to do that is to go onto the Facebook business page, go into your insights on your Instagram. There's always a way for you to be able to see best posting times, your demographic, all of those things, they all play a part, which means that it could even break down to as big as what are the best hashtags to use. Whether it doesn't matter what platform you're on, hashtags is for everybody. But that's the great thing, is that there are actually tools out there that can teach you what is the best hashtag to use for your business, because it's getting the most attention, it's bringing you the most followers. So keep that in mind. Next week, we're going to be talking about analytics and knowing your audience. And this is going to be a really, really great thing to know and have, because that is your fourth best tip on organic activity, is know your analytics, know your audience, because once you know the kind of content that they like, and you'll see this all break down in the video next week, but once you know the kind of content that they like, you'll actually know what to do more of. Do you do more pictures? Do you use Instagram more? Do you do more videos? You should all be doing videos. But whatever it is, it actually, these algorithms and these analytics will be able to tell you these things. And that way, instead of just making a wish and hoping that it works, you'll actually have the data to be able to know that it works. So that way you always know that the best information is being put out to your customers. And then the last tip, number 5, and this is the biggest one: post and publish constantly. Whether it's a simple video, you go live, you're doing a boomerang on Instagram, you're doing pictures, hashtags, memes, it really doesn't matter. Be posting constantly. Always be publishing something. Every single day, you need to be putting something out. Even if it's just, as simple as a meme, you need to be putting out information, because that is actually going to be generating a better sense of your algorithm, because Facebook is seeing that you are active, that you are engaging, and that you are consistent. All 3 of those things go back into your third and your fourth tips, which is your algorithms and your analytics. Because once you use this 5th tactic to actually be able to be posting consistently, you're going to change your algorithm. And when you change your algorithm, your analytics get changed. And when all of that changes, you actually are going to be able to make more of your organic activity and stop having to pay to play all the time. I would still suggest that you should be doing some kind of marketing and be spending some kind of budget with Facebook and Instagram, just because it's going to keep you consistent. And that way you don't have high peaks of activity and publications and then it drops down really low, because it takes a lot of work to get back up that hill again, especially in social media. So if you just have a consistency in your content, even if I don't always recommend it, but there is a time and place for boosting. If you're boosting an event or a post of some kind, if you're building out a campaign, whatever the case is, always be trickling a little bit into it, because that's actually going to help you a lot in the long run. But using these 5 tools, you're going to be able to do more and not spend as much either. So, thank you for joining me for this week's Wine Wednesday, the tips and tricks of the trade. Tune in next week for more information about the analytics and how to know your audience. I'll check in with you guys later.